Hello all, my name is Yossi, and today's short lesson is one of several in which I discuss Isaiah chapter 53. In my video on the word zera, Isaiah 53 verse 10, we use parallelisms within verses as a means of clarifying the meaning of the word seed. Today what we will do is we'll take another look at parallelisms in Isaiah, and this time to see if they can help us further identify the servant in the suffering servant passage. This lesson is dedicated to the memories of my parents, my father and teacher, Avraham Shmuel ben Simcha Bonim, and my mother and teacher, Hannah bat Shimon. In my video on interwoven themes in Isaiah 53, we showed that the word servant, Eved, appears 13 times throughout Isaiah chapters 40 through 55:5. We found that the only cases where we were unable to explicitly identify the servant were Isaiah 52 verse 13 and Isaiah 54 verse 17. But Isaiah 54:17 refers to servants in the plural, so what we'll do is we will identify the servant, or try to identify the servant, in 52:13. Today what we'll do is we'll take a closer look at those chapters, that's 40 through 55, and their beautifully crafted consolation songs filled with parallelisms. What we'll do is we'll take a close look at one literary technique that we touched on. That this technique is used by Isaiah extensively, and we will hopefully leverage that technique to help us make that final identification. The particular structures that we will be examining are called chiasms or chiasmus. A chiasm is also called an inverted parallelism, and what it means is that a sentence or other literary structure sort of goes forward and then halfway through sort of says the same thing in reverse, or maybe something similar, or even something opposite. But there is that back and forth flow. And a chiastic sentence that many of us remember from childhood is, I am Sam, Sam I am. Another one by the same author, my hat is old, my teeth are gold, I have a bird I like to hold. My shoe is off, my foot is cold. Now reverse direction, my shoe is off, my foot is cold, I have a bird I like to hold. My hat is old, my teeth are gold, and now my story is all told. But now let's get a little more serious. Here's an example of a chiastic structure in a verse from Isaiah. The ending clause of Isaiah 2 verse 3, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Hashem Yerushalayim, from out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. The word chiasm comes from the Greek letter chi. And chiasms actually don't have to be confined to a single sentence. In fact, many chapters of Isaiah are chiastic or contain chiasms. And the thing is that they were purposely constructed in this way by the author, and these structures tie themes together into neat little bundles. Let's take an example of a small one, Isaiah chapter 24. This chapter starts off with corruption of the people and God's punishing them. It then talks about sins committed on earth, peaks with verses 14 and 15, with people lifting their voices and singing the Lord's majesty. And what does it? Returns, it reverses direction, it returns to sins committed on earth, and finally, where it started off, it ends with God's punishment. Okay, now let's look at our chapter. For starters, you know I wouldn't be doing this video on chiastic structures in Isaiah and mention chapter 53 if I did not have a chiastic structure to show you. So what we'll do is we'll take a look. What we're doing is we're starting out with chapter 52, verse 9. Pitzchu v'rananu yachdav chorvot Yerushalayim. Burst into songs of joy, O ruins of Jerusalem. The next level, 52:13, Hinei yaschil avdi yarum v'nisa v'gava ma'od. My servant will act wisely. He will be raised and lifted up and highly exalted. The third level, Yadui Choli, a man of suffering, familiar with pain. That's 53:3. And then 53:5, Hu mechulal mi pish'enu. But he was pained for our transgression. We'll move to the fifth level, Kulano Kitzon. That's 53:6. Kulano Kitzon ta'inu. We all, like sheep, have gone astray, and now reverse direction. Hivgia bo et avon kulano, the iniquity of us, the iniquity of all of us, Mi pesha ami negalamo, 53:8, for the transgression of my people he was punished. 53:10, Vashem chafetz deka'o acheli, and it was the Lord's will to crush him, cause him to suffer. Now we're back to level 2, 53:12. Lechen echalek lo berabim et atzumim yechalek shala. Therefore I will give him a portion among the great. And then back to level 1, Pitzchi rani v'tzahali. Burst into song, shout for joy. All about the redemption of Jerusalem. That's 54, verse 1. Let's take a look at these parallelisms. 52:9 and 54:1. Burst into songs of joy, mirrors burst into song, shout for joy. Verse 52:9 mentions the ruins of Jerusalem, as verse 54:1 begins a chapter about Jerusalem's rebuilding and redemption. 52:13 and 53:12, the servant will be raised, mirrors a portion among the great. In 53:3 and 53:10, familiar with pain, mirrors cause him to suffer. 53:5 mirrors 53:8, our transgressions, mirrors for the transgressions of my people. 53:6 and 53:6 mirrors itself. We have gone astray, mirrors the iniquity of us all. If all of this is not clear enough, we have clear parallel themes between chapters 53 verse 12 and chapter 54 verse 3. Therefore I will allot him a portion in public, and with the strong he shall share plunder. This mirrors V'zar ech goyim yirash ve'arim nishumot yoshivu, and your seeds shall inherit nations and repeople desolate cities. And how about another clear parallelism between 53:10, Yir'eh zera, and he shall see seed, and 54:3, V'zar ech goyim yirash, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles. The chiastic structures that we have identified ties in a destroyed Jerusalem with Jerusalem's Jerusalem's redemption and rebuilding. As chapter 54 progresses, it becomes clear that her children will return to her and that God will console her. The servant that will see his seed, and the servant's seed is the seed of Jerusalem that will inherit the Gentiles. The chiasm ties the servant to the subject of the rebuilding of Jerusalem. And this is not a Jerusalem that is to be destroyed, nor some esoteric heavenly Jerusalem, but with a joyous, prosperous, and holy Jerusalem. It's God's servant, Jerusalem's children, the righteous remnant of Israel, that is the nation that will turn to rebuild her, and she will welcome them with joy and open arms. And what it actually appears, Bezrat Hashem, God willing, that we are witnessing this prophecy unfold ourselves. Thank you, Kol Tuv, and God bless.